It's possible I misread Carroll's hand. Maybe he had a flush draw and got there.
Phil's parents look on intently.
But I don't believe him, Phil. Pick off his bluff. I'm backing half your action, buddy.
4,700 is the call.
Good call.
Carroll with the nut flush. He had the spades.
Bad call.
And Carroll wins the Jack Links Beef Jerky wild card hand.
Worst player at the table.
Uh-oh. Phil Hum is back in the valley of unhappiness.
Man, the guy's the worst. I mean, by far. You know, I mean, it's so bad, the guy. God.
Oh, I'm the worst.
My poker brats reared his ugly head again. It must mean 6 more weeks of winter.
319 players entered the main event. The prize pool worth almost $69 million, almost $9 million to the winner.
$9 million? That barely covers Phil Hellmuth's therapy costs.
We may have one fewer by the time the river hits at Chao Zhang's table. He's all in with pocket tens, called by Antonio Esfandiari with ace-queen.
Goodbye, Chao Chao.
No way.
It was nice playing with you.
No way.
Say your goodbyes now.
No, little one.
Here's the flop.
Little one, please.
Queen 10 ace. Antonio with aces up as Zhang hits a set.
No ace, no queen.
I don't think we've seen a player getting massaged win a hand yet this year.
Antonio's sick about that flop. There's a 6 on the turn. No help to Antonio.
I'm not counting.
Chao has to dodge an ace or a queen to double up.
River card is another 6.
I'm still here, don't worry.
And Zhang will double up with 10s full.
Likeable bracelet winners clash. Chao Zhang gets the best of it.
And Zhang will take a bunch of Antonio's chips from one high-stakes player to another. There is Tom Dwan mixing it up with Todd Butts. Butts in the red hat, an amateur from North Carolina. 2 deuces, 2 fives, and now a queen on board, 3 spades also.
Dwan came up with his nickname Durr, pretty much just to annoy opponents when they said it.
Tom bets 2,100 into Butts. And Butts will make the call. And Dwan shows 2 fives for quads.
Durr.
Wow, that will annoy your opponent. Big hands for a high-powered player. Look out, main event. Dwan's skill and gambling persona have really captured the attention of the entire poker world.
Tom's a great young player.
He is clearly one of the best poker players in the world.
Dwan is a fun guy to have around because he just creates so much action.
I have a little bit of confidence in myself and my poker game. From the various bets I've made, I think that's pretty obvious. I felt like if I was going to play tournaments this year, I wanted to go all out. In order to do that, I decided to make bracelet bets. I'll do a lot of bets to motivate myself, just to keep life interesting. The most common ones being a 1 bracelet in a year bet, where I got laid usually around 3.25 to 1. There ended up being a ton of very high stakes action. Pretty early in the series, I got second in a 1,500 no-limit hold'em. There were definitely a bunch of people sweating.
Everyone was just on the edge of their seat watching Tom heads up for a bracelet because everyone had financial stake in whether he won or lost.
They were all just sweating blood. I was really enjoying it, and I was glad that I didn't bet him. And I was really pulling for him to win it.
It stung a little bit to have that many chips and then not win. Hopefully next year, or maybe the main event.
Dwan played in 52 of the 54 events this year to try to win the millions of dollars he had at stake, and it looks like he's switching the Peter Jedden button he's got to wear after losing a longer bet to him at last year's main event.
And there is the real Peter Jedden.
And those buttons, Lon, have become a cult item. I've noticed a bunch of players in the poker room are wearing Peter Jedden buttons.
Jedden from Toronto cashed at last year's main event, winning that longer bet, and made a final table at this year's World Series, but he will not win that hand as he folds to his opponent. All right, let's get back over to the feature table. The same blinds, 150 and 300, but the players now have a 25-chip ante.
The table last year was so great, the starting table. I ended the day with 190. 190.
Kata was his day 1 sessions chip leader last year.
And the way he's playing and the way the cards are falling, he may be the day 1 chip leader tonight as well. Action folds over to the defending world champ Joe Kata, pocket trays.
You know, Mozart wrote his E-flat Concerto K271 before he was 21, so I don't think Kata winning the main event before he was 22 is that impressive.
From the hijack seat, Kata raises to 800 to Tommy Miller, King Jack of Diamonds for the 24-year-old.
When Miller was 21, he was studying architectural technology at Farmingdale State. Now that's impressive.
Miller makes the call from the small blind, and he will see a flop with Joe Kata. It is queen, queen for Kata with queens up. That's the best hand, but Miller favored with the flush draw and 2 overs.
I don't even know what architectural technology is.
Miller checks. Cata now. That's 1,000, one yellow chip. Miller comes along.
I hate making a call when you're chewing gum.
Turn card now is a 9 of diamonds, and Miller hits his flush.
Well, Miller now with the best hand, and he's a big favorite to keep the best hand.
Miller first to act, and he'll check the flush. Cata checks 2.
Oh, a twirly bird check.
And these two will see a river card. Miller in control until now. Cata rivers trays full to steal the hand.
Boy, this kid runs good.
Miller with his diamond flush bets 1,600.
A small value bet from Miller, but he's in for a big surprise.
Joe Cata. That's more than 1,600. That's a raise to 8,500.
I don't think architectural technology covers this type of situation.
You have 9s, really? 3s?
Miller with the right notion.
Such a big bet. All right, I call.
He does call, and will learn his flush came in a close second.
3s.
Full house.
So sick.
He's the champ.
And the champ takes another nice pot.
All he plays is full houses. Don't you guys know that? Sets every time.
Play pairs. Good at hitting sets, I found out.
A useful skill to have when you're going for back-to-back main event titles.
Helmuth wins the championship. Peter Eastgate is our 2008 main event champion. Joe Cata, the youngest main event champ ever.
A reminder of the 3 most recent men to hold the moniker of youngest main event champion. Joe Cata, the record holder right now. He's in a hand with short stack Nils Bardsley. Bardsley re-raised all in from the cutoff pre-flop. Cata called with pocket queens, and he's ahead.
By the way, 2 years after winning the main event, Peter Eastgate is not here. He says he's taking an indefinite period of time off from poker.
The turn card, Bardsley at risk. He gets no help with the 6 of clubs.
Cata cracked Bardsley's pocket kings earlier when he flopped a full house. Now Bardsley needs an ace or he's gone.
It's a jack on the river. Too little, too late. Nils Bardsley eliminated by the world champion, Joe Cata.
He's the champ.
Let's take a look at the tail of the tape, brought to you by the official WSOP game. Play now on Facebook. Joe's voluntary hands played when not in the blinds, or VPIP, is slightly below the table average of 20%.
Joe's VPIP indicates that he's playing somewhat tight, but you combine that with an aggression factor well above the 56% table average.